guys, today I want to talk about rereading. So I feel like I've never done this one video where I talk about rereading and how I kind of feel about it. So today I thought I would just sit down and chat with you about rereading, what I think about it and everything. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you will probably know that I was someone who never even considered rereading before I joined BookTube. It was never something that even came to my mind. I just thought books were something that you read once and then you were done with it. Which, considering how many times I watched movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't understand how I would think that's less of a waste of my time than it is to reread one book, but that's a whole nother discussion. But obviously, since I started BookTube, I've been way more into rereading and I started appreciating it way more, but I feel like I still have different feelings towards it than other people have. I still find rereading something that I can't really make plans for. Now, obviously, in my 2018 reading plans, I did have a couple of books that I want to try and reread this year, but it's not something where I'm trying to make that happen super hard. It's just more I would love to reread these this year, but if it doesn't happen, I'm not mad about it. It's something that I very much have to be in the mood for. I can't really schedule my rereads. For the most part, I reread books when I feel like I am maybe hitting a slump and I'm not sure what to read next, so I rather go for a favorite where I kind of already know what to expect. Or as recently with my reread of The Archived and The Unbound, I was having a really hard time mentally. I was really struggling just with everything, so I thought I would reread something that I know just makes me feel good, and things like these are what motivates me to reread nowadays. But I feel where I kind of differ from other people is that I really mostly only reread my favorite books. I rarely ever even reread 4-star books. I can't even explain why. I'm not sure if it's a thing where I'm there's so many books out there that I still want to read. I don't want to waste time on rereading something, or what exactly that thought is. But for me, it really has to be a book like Ramona Blue or the Shades of Magic trilogy that I love with every fiber of my being to actually reread it. Now, on the one hand, I definitely think that's a kind of trait that I have that's good, because it does prevent me from rereading more than reading actual books that I have never read before. On the other hand, I feel looking back at the books that I have reread, like the Graceling Realm trilogy, when I reread these books, I just start appreciating them more than I did before, and I just love them more than I did before. So I feel if I would start rereading more books that were not favorites, even a couple of 5 stars that I don't really think about rereading, I think I would really start appreciating them more, and they would maybe become a favorite, or a 4-star would become a 5-star from this reread. So it's definitely something that's has a good side and a bad side. I don't really think that's something that I want to change. It's just something that I kind of realized that is happening. I, for example, realized that after rereading the Harry Potter series as audiobooks last year, I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna do that again. I'm definitely glad I did it, because I now have a little bit of a more clear picture of the differences between movies and books, and also of what are my favorite books in the series and what books do I felt were a little bit lacking and everything like that. So definitely appreciate it for that. But rereading them has definitely been a kind of sobering experience, and it's what I expected. Kind of knew rereading them that I would destroy a little bit of my kind of childhood memories of it. Then again, I had already destroyed some of them before, so it wasn't only the reread's fault. I feel it's just something that I kind of finally had to face with rereading them. So it's really only a part that probably would have happened anyway. But I think I kind of now am realizing that I really love these books for what they did in my childhood, and I still really appreciate the movies and just the whole world building and the lore around it and everything. I still love that with all of my heart. But I don't think that rereading the books is for me. Frankly, even if it was, I don't understand people who do annual rereads. That almost makes me anxious, like being like, oh, December is coming up, I'm gonna reread like 7 books. No, that's just like, I don't know, that's just not how I function at all. Like, I completely not how I function, like not at all. Something similar actually goes for the Mortal Instruments series, where I really loved all of these books when I initially read them, and I know if I were to reread them I would still have a lot of positive feelings and thoughts about it, but I also know that there would be so many tropes and so many things in it that would annoy the shit out of me, and I would probably come out of this series feeling a lot less enthusiastic than I already do. Like, my thoughts have already changed, being the person that I am today, knowing what I know of these books, but I feel like rereading would completely destroy everything that is left. I would probably still really appreciate City of Glass, I would probably still really appreciate City of Heavenly Fire as an ending, and I think there's still a lot of things that I would really appreciate, that I would really love, and I would probably still be able to read through them really quickly, but I feel like just this feeling of, I don't know how to explain it, but like just this like happy kind of feeling, I think that would go away a little bit. And especially with these books also being like 10 years old, is also something that, you know, there might be something in there that this author at this point would never in a million years write like this anymore. But 10 years ago, maybe they weren't as like conscious about. Just so many things when you're rereading. And like same with Outlander, there would probably be so many things that I would not appreciate as much anymore as I did back then. But I have so much love for these books. I know it would remain, but it would definitely kind of taint the overall picture, and I just don't want that. And I don't know, sometimes I feel, especially with something like Outlander, which is a book that's been written so long ago, I feel like going into that book with the expectations I have of a book today is kind of shitty anyway, and I feel like it's good that people pointing out the problematic stuff in it, but at the same time, me knowing that it's gonna taint my picture just sucks. That's just the reality of it. So I just rather not reread these kinds of books, and I just rather have like my great picture. And in general, I don't want to commit to 6 books, but also like going away from that, this thought of like rereading books before a new book in a series comes out also stresses me out so much. Obviously, I've done it with the Shades of Magic trilogy, but that's because like my whole life revolved around that series for a little while. So there was nothing else I could do. Like at that point, I already had not stopped thinking about the series for like 2 years anyway. So it wasn't really any difference to not rereading it. But you know, it just recently happened where I would have had to read The Novice and the Inquisition by Tara Mathero in order to read the final book in the trilogy, The Battle Mage, and I was just like, I did not like that series enough to reread it. And I gave the first book 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. I did a really positive review of it, but I was just not in the mood and just not wanting to waste my time on rereading that series just to read that 3rd book. And I think that's a big reason as to why I tend to binge read my series, because I know I will end up not being in the mood for rereading a book. But I see people doing that all the time. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying anybody is wrong for doing that. I think that's actually really great if people do that, but I see some people doing that regularly with a couple of series every time, and I'm just like, how do you do that? And like obviously I would really benefit from rereading a book like The Fault in Our Stars, but why would I reread it knowing that while rereading it I would not have a good time? That's just not how I work. Anyway, so this was way more rambly and kind of all over the place than I wanted it to be, but I just kind of had the urge to talk about it because I feel like I say a lot like, I don't really reread much, and I never really talk about it like in a separate thing. So here's the separate thing. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about rereading, and thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!